Hello. Hello. Welcome. Now originally this was just going to be a stream for Pokemon Infinity. However, something popped up here. So let's see. Will this work? It works. Okay. So what you were seeing right there, if I can remember that my camera is mirrored, is Ship 24 with a liquid oxygen and frost ring there at the bottom. They're currently in propellant loading for a potential 6-engine static fire Ship 24. Now, I don't want to miss this as much as I want to play some Pokemon. I also want to watch some rocket engines go butter. So we're going to do that here first. You're seeing a lot of venting right now coming from right there, that little circle. Now that little circle is an access hatch that's easily able to be opened up, and that's primarily there for when the vehicle's not filled with a buttload of prop. You're able to then pretty easily get inside of it to do whatever modifications you need to. Now, we've seen them have to do a lot of modifications in the past. Most infamously, at least that I remember, is a downcomer breaking during a cryo test for this vehicle. I believe also that people now use the term transfer tube, but back in my day, 3 years ago, when this all started, they were all downcomers, so, you know, I'm still gonna be calling them that. So we did see that downcomer break a while ago. However, they were relatively easily able to get in and just replace it while it was out on the pad without having to roll it back to the wide bay or the high bay. So you can see a lot of that liquid oxygen there condensing and pouring off of that hatch, as well as just off the vehicle in general. Now, if you're wondering why there's much of condensation being poured off the vehicle, well, the answer is pretty darn simple. I'm gonna try to see if I can change stream category here because we are not in gaming right now. The answer is pretty darn simple. If you've ever held a glass of water, if you've ever held a cold glass of water or a cold soda out on a hot summer day, you're going to see a bunch of water droplets form on the outside. Now, what if, instead of being, 20 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees Fahrenheit, that soda was, say, negative 200 degrees Fahrenheit? All of a sudden, that water droplets that are going from the outside air and sticking on to the outside of the soda can through water tension, that are then getting nice and cold and condensing the air around it, creating that water. Well, now it's not just creating that water, it's also creating ice by that water. So, with all that water turning into ice, you get that frost ring we see right there. Now, that frost ring is indicative that they are under propellant loading, meaning that they're actively filling the vehicle with liquid methane and liquid oxygen. Now, I do want to here give credit to Lab Padre, who are providing the incredible views down in Boca Chica, Texas, and hence why there's a giant, I'll make it even bigger, a giant credit to Lab Padre sign. We'll keep it there, because I'm able to, we all are able to actually watch what's happening because of them, and also NASA Space Flight does incredible stuff down there. There's so many incredible people down in Texas right now that are filming all of this stuff happening. Earlier today, we saw what appeared to be at least a 33 engine spin prime test. Now, a spin prime test is simply when you begin to it is a stage of igniting a rocket engine before you actually create fire. That's what you're testing. So previously, we saw a spin prime test a couple months back, now in, I believe, late July. However, infamously, that created a bit of a boom on site when the spin prime was able to, the liquid methane and liquid oxygen mixture from the spin prime was able to somehow find a heat source and ignite and create an explosion, which is not fun, especially considering there was not an overpressure notice for any of the residents out at the time. Now, I'm looking closely, and I do not yet see a frost ring forming around the methane tank, which could be a sign that we're not yet into methane loading. The Raptor engines that power this vehicle, specifically the Raptor 2s, run on what's known as methalox, which is liquid oxygen and liquid methane, which are, the liquid methane is the fuel source and the liquid oxygen is the oxidizer, because once you get up into space, well, you're not going to have any oxygen or any oxidizer to carry out that reaction. We have that down here on the surface of the Earth, but not so much up there. So, once you get up there, you need to bring some with you. Hence why we carry liquid oxygen with us in rockets. It also just makes the combustion overall much easier, which is why we still carry it with us when we're down on the ground. So it looks like we're good. I'm waiting here, checking Twitter to see if we get any news of a siren. So the reason we're looking out for a siren is because that is our big sign that a static fire is imminent. So since Boca Chica is an actual town filled with people, SpaceX is legally required to tell the sheriff before they're about to static fire at about 10 minutes, which is when the sheriff will then get in his cop car, put on the sirens, and go running around the village. It's not even really a village, it is a group of houses, but they're required to then go running around the village with the sirens a-blaring, which then lets us know that we're about roughly 10 minutes out. Now, obviously, it's not always exact, it's typically give or take like 5, sometimes even 10 minutes on top of that. Depending on what test we're about to see here, they might not even need to they might not even need to sound the sirens, because it might not necessarily even be a static fire. This might first be a spin prime. Now, the reason we believe it's going to be a static fire is because late last night, rather, the residents of Boca Chica Village were given a notice saying that there's an overpressure warning And that once they hear the sirens, they are to step out of their houses and not be near any glass, because if something was to go wrong and create a giant boom, then the glass might explode, which is not good. Typically, you don't want to be near exploding glass. It's not a fun experience, I'd imagine. So, by sounding that siren, it lets the people in the village know we need to get the hell out of here. And that's ultimately the big reason why the siren's actually there. And it's also very helpful for us, though, because we get to know then what's actually happening. That frost line is still increasing. We can go back a little bit. Say, go back 10 minutes when we started the stream to now. You can see how much that frost line is increased. That's the tip. So there, it's not even halfway up. You can see that. To compare that to now, where we're now have our actual ring past the access hatch for the liquid oxygen tank. So all is looking good here. I'm not seeing any major indications that we're too close to a static fire. So what we might do here. Now let's see. This is I'm gonna go into studio mode here so you don't have to see what I'm doing. Let's say we do this and then add another window capture. Shrink that down. Then we can add text there. Oh, wow. That is the thing I did not know I could do in OBS. That's fun. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. Isn't that fun? So, I'm going to still be watching over here so that we know if anything is to immediately happen here. And then we can switch back over to the main feed. But for now, we're going to keep the Lab Padre footage down there. I'm even going to turn on notifications on my phone so that I can get a notification when the siren goes off. Yeah, how about that? Okay, so that should work. In the meantime, though, let's turn this music down, or just turn that off. And let's turn on the music for deafened me, jeez, for Pokemon Infinity. So, where we last left off here, we had just defeated the first gym, rather, and we got back to Professor Thorne, where she tasked us with now having to go somewhere and do something. Okay. Okay, let's do that so I can actually see the game. That might be helpful. Okay, so right now we are tasked with pretty much going back through where we just came from to ultimately help Professor Thorne figure out what the hell is wrong with us. Which is a question that I think we've all been asking. So, if we are to check on our team here, we still have our fodder on board, but we have our Nidoran, our Anvil, and Swablu. So, we're going to heal up here, and then we're going to get going back around to, I believe we need to head west, or yes, west. That's what the professor told us to do. Let's also talk with her, make sure that we're correct in that. So, what's interesting here, and I wonder, because sleep. Say I sleep for 6 hours. what? Okay, so we saw a bunch of Mareep there. That's nice. So the sun is still shining, but we now have... Our plants have now grown a bit. So what if I sleep for another 7 hours? Will this get us to nighttime then? Because if so, that's really interesting. It does. Fascinating. Okay. That's good to know. I wonder if there's... Because I believe we've only ever done encounters on this route during the daytime. So the encounters are still fairly similar. We have in Ekans. What? So, like, I'm trying to think. Is fighting not effective against poison? Because I always thought it was just neutral, and the two didn't have any benefits or disadvantages towards each other. That would be very interesting if they're not. But we'll keep going here. Hello? What? Oh, okay. Hello, Rotom. Fuck, yeah, it's Ghost, okay. Let's go for a Dusk Ball since it is night. That might actually be able to catch it. Or not. I just wasted a Dusk Ball. Fine. Okay, Poison Sting. Infused Ray. Great. Why is there a random Rotom? Okay, I'm done with you, Rotom. Okay, yeah, I'm done with you, Rotom. You're not worth my time here. Unless there's a new Rotom form, which I hope there isn't now, because I did not catch that Rotom. That would be very unfortunate if there's a new Rotom form, and I did not know and then missed that Rotom right there. That would stink. So we also haven't been through this route in the night, so this will be interesting as well. Actually, I want to go back and talk with Professor Thorn, because I don't know exactly where we're going. I'm roughly aware of where we're supposed to be heading, but, you know. Yes, hello. Thank you, hiker. Or, I guess, jogger, rather. Yeah, because I'm not too confident on where we're supposed to be going, which is not a great thing. Here, I just realized I'm going to turn this off for VOD, and then we'll turn that back on when something actually starts happening. Just because I don't know if I want for the VOD that to be there the whole time. You better get going. I think he's planning on hoping to grand opening soon. He won't want you to show up late. So, not of much help. What is, though, is we have a town map, and I believe... Yeah, so we need to get here, because the Safari Zone is there. So we need to go through that previous route that we were just on. So that I was correct. Because we need to go to the grand opening of the Safari Zone to tell them that Thorn is not coming to the grand opening. Very nice of you, Professor Thorn. Okay, yeah, so like I was saying, I'm not sure if we've encountered anything on this route during the night. So it'll be interesting to see if there are any differences in the table. If you see me looking over in that direction, it's because I'm checking to see how Starship is doing. There's a Pokeball there. Let's see. Okay, so we have a Pat Rat. Looks like there is a slight increase in level, though, which is nice. Oh, yes, the big thing from last time is we got an XP share. So I don't need to worry as much about... Our fodder will be able to at least grow a little bit and be more reliable as fodder. But again, as we eventually get more and more Pokemon I actually want to keep on our team, I'll end up replacing all the fodder with real Pokemon. It's interesting that it appears that the roaming Pokemon are higher level than the Pokemon in the grass. Because I know that previous area where we saw the Rotom, that Rotom was level 15. Meanwhile, most of the Pokemon in the grass there were just, I believe, like level 5, 6. I think I remember one being 8 when we were first in there. So, like, yeah. So I wonder why that one was level 15. Maybe that Rotom is the only example of overworld scaling, which would stink. I really like that they actually do scaling in this game. It's pretty cool. If that is the case, of course, I'm not just going crazy, which is always a possibility. So an Onyx. So I talked about this last time. This is, I believe, a very controversial statement, but I'm going to say this anyway. I think the EXP share is great. I very much like the EXP share. Not the old school one, where you can only use it on one Pokemon. No, the modern one, which makes your life a hell of a lot easier. I very much enjoy that. That's very fun. And I know a lot of people complain that it makes the games easier, but I honestly don't even think it does. Like, if your definition of being hard is how many hours you can put into grind, I think you have a very skewed definition of what makes something difficult. I would argue what makes something difficult would be actually how much effort needs to be put in for it. And sure, you can make the argument that you do have to put in a lot of effort. Oh, okay. Hold on, guys. I'm going to be going to the Be Right Back screen. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, sorry about that. We are back. Okay. So we can go now. I'm down this ladder, continue our journey to wherever the heck we need to go. This is different than previously. Or maybe I just went down a different ladder than we went down the first time we went through this cave. Either that or the cave in its entirety changed. One of the two. Something tells me it's more likely that the cave just shifted around, or that... I'm forgetting that that ladder was there, and the cave did not physically shift around in its entirety. Go on. So much for getting a Nidorino today. Okay, powdered snow. And I don't have a revive either, which means we're not going to be able to fix that. Which stinks. Once we get to the main town, we can work on fixing that, I guess. Did this, like, completely change, or am I stupid? I imagine I'm stupid, but I do not remember the cave looking like this. Okay, Whismur. I should be able to take this out quickly. Thanks for causing an uproar, Whismur. It's very nice of you. Very PogChamp. Okay. So I haven't actually addressed yet why I decided to make the switch to streaming on YouTube. Um, and I think the story really, it's not based on my own experiences, but having seen everything that people online have been saying about their experiences on Twitch, and how frustrating they are to deal with in comparison to YouTube, as well as people talking about, in general, how there's no discoverability on there, which I can confirm is very true. It is not, it is impossible to actually be noticed there because they don't have a they don't have a good search engine by any means. They don't, and VODs too. There's no one watches back VODs over there. So you need to then put in the time and effort to move your VODs over to YouTube. And if you don't, your VODs are then destroyed in, 6 months is the archive period for VODs, which is really frustrating. Because if I'm live doing something for 3 hours, I don't want to then have to go and archive it myself. Why can't the website... We have not encountered a diglet in this cave yet. Interesting. But why can't the website just take care of that? That seems pretty stupid of Twitch. So I decided that if I'm going to be putting all this time into YouTube anyway, then I want to be trying to upload about a video a week, then why bother streaming on Twitch when I can also just stream on YouTube and make my life a lot easier? So it was mostly driven out of that. There were some other reasons too. I, in general, just don't like some of the atmosphere that Twitch creates. I think some of the culture in Twitch is great. I think the emotes culture and a lot of the inside memes are good, but people also have a tendency there to, once a meme starts, it's going to non-stop continue. Despite being however many years. Like, we're all still saying PogChamp, and it's been how many years since that first took off? Like, it's frustrating sometimes. And YouTube doesn't seem to really suffer from that problem. That being said, YouTube is not perfect either. Obviously, YouTube has its own host of problems. Streaming is obviously a lot less convenient over here when it comes to setting it up. I've probably put more time into setting up this stream to run on YouTube than I have total to set up any stream on Twitch. And part of that's probably because I haven't streamed on YouTube in fucking 5-6 years. Meanwhile, I streamed on Twitch fairly often before then taking a break and then coming back now to do this. So it did definitely change a lot in that time period, leading to it being relatively different in terms of the way that the softwares work and interlace. Getting stream elements to work on YouTube was something. I still haven't even gotten commands run properly, which is frustrating. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm sure there is a way to get commands running. I just need to get the time to do that, and I've just not had the time today to fully get commands up and running. I only made the decision fully to commit to YouTube as a platform yesterday. Before that, I was still very much undecided on whether or not the change would be worth it, or if it would just handle what is already a very, 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 very difficult thing to do. But you know, we'll see. But we will see. Yeah, I mean, I obviously in the past year, a lot of big streamers, even in the Pokemon community too, have switched over to using YouTube instead of Twitch. And actually, it was one of those stories that really or two of those rather, that really motivated me to want to make that switch. Purple Cliff and Pokemon 7, talking about their issues they've had with Twitch. And it just seemed like if all these people who are very good content creators, who know what they're doing, are like, this is not worth it over here, we're going to switch over to YouTube, then why would I bother starting on Twitch, only if I'm going to eventually then want to make that move to YouTube? That just seems like an added monkey wrench that's not needed. So by doing this, we're kind of avoiding that. And we'll see how that works out in the long run. Obviously, I'm not Nostradamus. I can't see, 15 years out. The internet will be dead by then. I can't see like 15 weeks, 15 months into the future, let alone 3-4 years. Okay, I'm just looking again at Starship. Still not seeing any condensation or methane ring. Does look like the nose might have some. I can't tell. No, I don't think it is. I think it's just the way the light is playing with it. Okay. I was gonna say it looks like we might have a frost ring in the nose header tank, but I believe looking at that more closely that's actually just a trick of the light. Okay. I really should have bought in a bunch of repels before going back through this cave. Rock and rolla. Outside of space news, there's some other relevant stuff happening today, depending on who you ask. The Queen died. That's... And honestly, you can make all the jokes in the world. Obviously, it is sad when someone dies, of course, but I'm also left with the question of why are we still bothering with the monarchy in this day and age? A system that is very archaic and links us to, I would argue, a very problematic time for most people. Why are we still glorifying this culture who, I mean, let's be honest, it was, I'm gonna word this carefully. The monarchy in the past, way back in the day, has done a lot of very horrible things. Nowadays, they're just a figurehead, but I still wonder why we bother. It just seems like, what's the point? But yeah, so we now have who would it be? King Charles. I honestly really don't care about the monarchy. That's one thing that's always fascinated me, is people's obsession with the idea of royalty, and I wonder where that kind of comes from, because it's always felt very weird to me that people will obsess over what the royal family is doing. I'm sure people feel the same way about things I'm interested in. I'm sure people are like, well, why the hell would you care what satellites are being launched? But to me, at least, I've always felt like it's almost like an escape. Like, I feel like people wish they were part of the royalty for some reason. And I could be completely wrong there in my assumption of how I believe people feel. I hope I am, because I feel like it'd be pretty weird to want to be part of the monarchy, but you know. Oh, Sableye. Okay, Sableye is a disgusting Pokemon. Now I meant to hit. I don't care about how good it is. It is a disgusting Pokemon. Exit. Oh, okay, hopefully this is the last battle we have to do. We did get some good experience in here, though. Let's try Frost Breath here. See what this does. Okay, that was a crit, so that's not a... that's not an accurate judgment of how that move... Really. On the second to last tile, Onyx. Come on. So let's see if this is... Thanks for missing. Okay, I was gonna say, if that was like just how it happened, I'd be very frustrated, but if it held down the sturdy, I'm a lot less frustrated. A critical hit with Gauss, not very effective, but it does more than 1 HP. Okay, we can finally heal our Pokemon now. So I believe, and I'll check our map in a second, but I believe we can't go through the southmost exit of this town, which is what the professor over there was saying. And I believe we need to go east, south, then west to get to the town. But I will check my map in a second to see if I'm just completely wrong. Which, let's be honest, I probably am. Actually, do I have anything to sell? I have apricorns. I have a Heart Claw, which I'm not going to sell. I have a Quick Claw, Charcoal Escape. None of that is stuff I'd bother selling. So let's check our bag real quick. So I don't think we're able to go south. I think we need to go through here, through there, through here. I might be wrong, though. We'll check in a minute. Or we'll check right now, actually. So this would be the south exit, and it's blocked. Okay. So let's see the east exit then. It's interesting that they have a statue of Palkia. I wonder if Palkia and Dialga play a role in this in any way. Because I'm honestly not sure of the story of this game. Even before I started playing this, I've avoided spoilers because I wanted to play this on my own. Now we're obviously playing it on stream. But still... I was trying to avoid the Chimecho. Swablu, come on. Come on. Really? You're gonna... That's a crit? Oh, boy. I hate Chimecho with a burning passion. Oh god, because we're poison type. What? How is Chimecho beating me this much? That's insane. That is actually insane. The Chimecho should not be able to do that. Come on. Use Foggy Strike. That should... Really? Really? Jeez. That's very frustrating. Go. Now we have a Nidorino. And then eventually we'll get a Nidoking, which is... I don't know if it's my favorite, but it is one of my favorite Generation 1 Pokemon. Without a doubt. There are very few that come even close to it for me. So let's re-heal. We're going to swap our party up so that Nidorino is in the front. But I still want to gain a bit more levels for him. So our fodder is definitely growing, which is nice. Hopefully we do encounter on this next route a Pokemon we decide we want to keep on the team. Hopefully a Fakemon at that, or a regional variant. Did we get cut and I'm not aware? So use double kick. Yeah, Nidorino's a badass. Look at that. We're still gonna kick you again, and we're not gonna... So much for we're not gonna miss. Thanks for... Boy. Really? Sand attack is a lot more overpowered than I remembered. Jeez. I don't care. I honestly do not. Okay. So we're now about 13 minutes out from a static fire. And I know that because we just have the engine vents turn on here. So those engine vents are for chilling down the engines. It'll switch over to that screen in a little bit. But we should be about 12 to 13 minutes out from a static fire. So right now they're running liquid oxygen through the engines to chill them down. Okay, so we're going to switch over here. So you can see those vents I was talking about. By running the liquid oxygen through them, they're able to chill them down so that they can actually fire without getting what's known as thermoshock. Thermoshock is when you just run... Thermoshock is when you essentially get something that's a normal temperature, like in a normal range. And by normal, I mean like anything that is not sub-zero Celsius. And then you just start flowing things that are like negative 200 degrees through them. It's gonna crack. Same way as if you have a glass that was previously in the fridge, and then you just put it on the stovetop. It's gonna break because you're not giving enough time to expand correctly. So by slowly beginning to trickle some liquid oxygen through those engines, they're giving it time to expand correctly, allowing so that the engines don't break, which is typically pretty useful. So I'm going to mute this, and we're going to put back on the background music. I imagine that sounds a little bit better. Might be wrong though. We'll see. And what I'm also doing is checking what the heck I'm supposed to be doing right now in the Pokemon game. So we're checking that while we wait for a static fire. Okay. So apparently, let's see if I'm watching this correctly before I say anything here. But we were apparently supposed to get fly. So I'm going to check if that's the case. Okay, we did. So we'll do that when we get back into the game. And right now, waiting for that siren, which should be coming up in a moment or two. That siren should indicate that we're 10 minutes out, which should be, again, about right now-ish, because typically the engine chill is indicative of being about 13 minutes and 20 seconds, if I believe, is what NASA spaceflight came up with for the time difference between how long it takes from when, you know, the engine chill lights up to when the engines actually do whatever they're going to do. And again, this could still just be a spin prime test. Hopefully it's not. I'm pretty confident this is a static fire at this point. And they've loaded a lot of fuel into it too, which tells me this is either going to be a long static fire, or we're going to see we're going to see every engine fire. So this vehicle has 6 engines on this stage. This is, of course, the second stage of Starship Super Heavy, the actual Starship side of it. Contained on board are 3 sea-level Raptor 2s and 3 Raptor vacuums, or Vectors, as I like to call them. Again, you've seen those 2 vents there. The big reason those vents are there, I didn't even notice that. It's cutting off part of the bottom of the screen. Thanks, YouTube. Or I guess thanks, OBS, rather. Because that's an OBS problem. What if I do that? Okay. So you're seeing all that condensation there wrapped up at the bottom. That's the excess from all the venting. I want to see if one of their other cameras here. Let's see. I don't know what camera that is. Darn. That's the one we were on. I believe Rover, yeah. Rover looks at the booster. That's an okay view. I want that one that you can actually see the back of it from, because it looks like you're not going to be able to... Oh, wait, heat distortion. Okay, we'll just stick with the one we had then. My gosh, I'm very talented at this, as you can see. Yeah, so we'll just keep doing this view then. Okay, well, hopefully we'll be able to see. Yeah, it looks like the venting is cleared up there anyway, so we should hopefully be able to see when this thing actually goes. Which again, this isn't going to launch. It's just going to be quick firing of the engines. And waiting here for the siren. That siren is going to indicate that we're about 10 minutes out from a static fire. Refreshing Twitter, hoping to see if we... Yeah, I'm going to turn the sound up on the Lab Padre stream. And hopefully we can hear it on there when it does happen. Again, that should be coming up any moment now with static fire in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, as we wait for that siren, I'm going to switch over back to Pokemon here. And then once we get that siren back, so we did get Fly. I don't know if any of our Pokemon know Fly. Anvil can learn Fly, and so can Swablu, but we're going to give it to Anvil. We're going to place Gust with Fly. So then I wonder if that will make navigating the town map easier. Not very, okay. So then I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Oh. Oh, there we are. Okay, that was... You guys didn't see anything, but that was very weird what just happened on my end. Okay. I wondered, did we get cut? I didn't see either. No. Okay. So then what's going on here? We need to like talk to one of these people. Because clearly that's the way we're supposed to go. Fluke girl over here. Volume for this. Okay. Go. So now we can here. You able to help us at all with anything? Oh. Okay. I don't know what I'm meant to do here. Because when we go down here, can't get through because it's the festival and they're playing the... Interesting that they're playing the Azure flute. Interesting. So I wonder... We're going to use Fly here. Because I have here... What if we're supposed to go down like this and not down like this? So we're going to fly back to Thorn's lab and see if that works. Check Twitter again, see if we have the siren yet. Still no siren. So this is a relatively long fuel engine shell, which is interesting. Okay, well that's not very helpful then. Ah, there's grass there though. Perhaps that rock is not the only way to get down there. Okay, Mightyena. What do you got? Sorry, Poochyena. Mightyena's the evolution. Double kick him. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna look this up because I honestly don't know what to do right now. I'm a bit confuzzled, I'll be honest.
Welcome.
Oh, wow.
Welcome.
What the heck? Thanks for... That's totally how tutorials should always start. Okay, let's see. Oh, do we need to go back and talk to Wormwood? Okay. Well, that would do it then. That would explain the issue. And that's a relatively easy thing to do, considering we now have fly. So we can fly over to here. We got to talk with Wormwood. See, any siren yet? Nope, still waiting on the siren. Okay. So this is this Wormwood's? No, that's our house. Okay. There's the lab. Yeah, engine shell is not normally this long. This is very long for an engine shell, which is interesting. Okay, so there's Lucy. There's my boy Wormwood. Ah, you've decided to collect badges for the Ego Elders. A fine idea, and a classic one for trainers like yourself. That desire for competition will push you far. I hope you're having luck working with Professor Thorne. I know that they can be a tad erratic. Am I not supposed to come talk with him? Okay. Well, either way, the map did show that there's something around here that might have possibly get there. I wonder if there's like a patch of grass I never noticed earlier down here, and we just head east. Like down here and then head east, or head west rather. That tells me that there is, but I'm going to actually be right back because I need to go use the bathroom. So, be right back. Okay. We are back. Manifest having a bathroom right next to your bedroom. And it's our main man, Teal. Hey there, Justin. Haven't made it very far on my own quest. Ended up helping the farmers wrangle up Mareep. Okay, that was the stream glitching. I was gonna say, if Starship is actually doing that, that's a problem. Okay, any sirens? Let's see. Still no siren. Getting very long engine shell. A little bit of time to raise my team. Check it out. Level 16 core fish. Okay. It shouldn't be too difficult. Not great. Thanks, Teal. Ass. Okay. I'm gonna switch here. I'm gonna switch to Anvil. Anvil can take the core fish out, no problem. Yeah, it's gonna do nothing. Okay, we'll use Foggy Strike on a water type, which I just realized is now very stupid. Okay, we'll use Bite this time. How about that? That makes more sense. Flinched, couldn't move. One more bite should do it. And core fish is down. What's next? Ivysaur. Yeah, we're gonna switch to Swablu, because Swablu is effective against grass types. Let's see what this Ivysaur looks like. Yeah, that's badass. That's cool. Okay, so that's effective rock throw. Yikes. Oh, come on. It's rough skin. Veneri, come on. Do a little bit of damage. Oh, boy. Yo. Lived with 1 HP. Let's go. And rough skin, not it. Okay. Okay, let's try Sandshrew. Again, if we can just get a little bit out here. Come on. Okay, Pat Rat, you're our last bit of fodder here. Absorb, okay, that's not bad. I should have used Bide. Come on. Yeah, okay. We're out. Can Anvil do it? Anvil used outspeed and KO with this bite. Okay, Anvil did it. We could still possibly win. Bubble Beam, okay. 65, 100, 55, okay. I'm gonna replace Tackle with Bubble Beam at this point. Tackle's not doing too much with it. Okay, Staravia. I can take a Staravia. Foggy Strike. Less damage than I thought it would do. Thanks for the quick attack. That was a critical hit. Okay. Thanks, Staravia. Thanks for coming. Okay, well, other than the Bulbasaur, or the Ivysaur, that was not too bad. Okay, well, let's heal up now. Assuming he did not heal us. Yeah, okay. I don't even know where the Poké Center is. Maybe the professor has something. You heal. You? I don't care. I just to heal my Poke. Okay, maybe there's a bed upstairs. There is. Okay. There we go. T-minus 10-minute siren now. So we're gonna... Boy. Okay. We're going to go over here now because we have the T-minus 10-minute siren. Put that away for a bit and focus over here. Hopefully see a static fire in about 10 minutes. If all goes according to plan, that is, which can never be sure, but you know, we'll see. Okay. So I'm going to assume this is going to be a 6-engine static fire. Might be wrong, but we'll see. We will see. Again, having the credit to Lab Padre on the screen, as they're the people bringing us this awesome footage down from Boca Chica, and we are reacting to it and giving you hopefully a little bit of an explanation as to what actually is going on down there. You can see that the main condensation now is over. We still have some more coming. However, you're going to start seeing it pulsing now and being more sporadic, as ultimately the main purpose is done of those engine chill vents. I mean, they're still chilling them, but we're going to see them more sporadic because they don't need to. Now it's keeping them at the temperature. Originally, it was flowing nonstop to get them down to the temperature. Now it's keeping them at the temperature. So, bit of a difference. We're most likely going to see, you can see it says, so the siren sounded at 5:19. So we're probably going to see this at 5:29 Eastern Standard Time. That'd be, what, 4:29 Central over for Texas, and let's see, 2:29 for Pacific. Hopefully I did that right. So then that'd be 3:29 for Mountain. So our next major hint that the static fire is imminent is we're going to see, kind of like we're seeing now, we're going to see pulsing there of those engines. I've not heard anything from this camera, which stinks. I want to be able to hopefully hear the static fire. Possible. Okay, so we should now be about 6 minutes out. That next major step I was talking about before I kind of interrupted myself and lost my train of thought is the water deluge. There's a little sprinkler system down on the ground, which allows them to wet the ground and use that sprinkler to absorb the majority of the heat and vibration coming off the engines. If you ask me, I think their water deluge system is very underpowered compared to what it should be. But you know, they're the engineers, not me. But by using that water deluge, it's able to absorb the vibrations and the heat from the rocket engines firing, which then leads to not blowing up the ground, which has happened before. SN8, I distinctly remember this day, did a static fire with all 3 engines. There weren't even 6 engines on it at the time, only to have then blown up part of the ground, because a material they use called mytite It mixed in the concrete. It makes the concrete a little bit more brittle. Makes it heat resistant, but it makes it brittle. So the pressure from the engine's firing caused it to crack and go flying everywhere, which then caused, infamously, a rupture, or it literally, one of the pieces cut through a line. They gave telemetry and control from the ground to the vehicle. So SpaceX was without control of SN8, um, ultimately, until then. It got to a pressure to blow what are called burst discs, which are essentially little tiny sections of the tank that are little circles, maybe that big, um, where the metal that circle is made of is much, much, much less um, durable and pressure resistant than the actual normal tank material, which means that if, say, it was to overpressure, those are going to blow before the vehicle, assuming the pressure isn't too high, in which case that's not applicable. But once it reached like however many bar the burst disc was rated for, the burst disc blew. And eventually the next day they were able to get back out to the pad and clear it up. But for a while they were dealing with that problem, uh, which is interesting. And we've even seen recently, I believe 2 static fires ago on Ship 24, we saw some Mai Tai fly, and it looked like it cracked part of the coolant tubes on one of the Raptor vacuums, which they had to come out here and replace. So this will actually, I believe, be the first static fire, if this is all 6 engines, for that Raptor vacuum. So we'll see how that performs. We're seeing, again, that periodic pulsing from those vent lines. That periodic pulsing, again, now once we have it down to pressure, keeping it at that pressure. And at T-minus 13 seconds, you're going to see it pulse, turn back on, then pulse off again. That's the final, those pulses used to be much more obvious. Nowadays it's pulsing throughout the entire thing, so it's much less obvious to actually figure out where we are on the countdown, other than that we are roughly 2 minutes out from a static fire by that siren. So let's stand by and wait then for that static fire that should be coming up in a moment. And again, looking out for that water deluge system. It serves, again, most water deluge systems serve to absorb heat and to absorb acoustic vibrations underneath. Well, so the sound suppression system is the water that's actually underneath the zero deck that your fire and your engines and their plume actually go into. And that primarily serves to dampen acoustic vibrations that could be caused by the vehicle, as well as dampen heat, because those acoustic vibrations will oftentimes be hard enough to actually tear the damn rocket apart. And people just use the term water deluge to describe that, but actually that's the sound suppression system. The water deluge is what you see on the actual top of the deck itself. Think how we saw with the SLS when they did the test a couple years back. The actual rain birdies that fire the water out, and those serve the purpose to prevent actual scarring and charring to the deck itself, which is also very important, because if you burn the deck too much, well, then you're going to need to build a new one, and they're freaking expensive and a pain in the butt to build. As we stand by now for the static fire, starting in possibly a couple of seconds. The vehicle's certainly breathing right now. We're at the time where we can expect a static fire any moment. Again, that T-minus 10-minute siren sounded at 6:19. Now at or at 16:19 UTC. Now at 21:19. Sorry, 16:29 rather. So waiting now for that possible static fire coming up here. Again, there could be a built-in hold in the countdown. There could also be an unplanned hold that they entered for a moment. This is all relative to that. We don't have access to the control room, sadly, though I wish I could hear what was going on. In Stargate, there's a control facility down there. Oh, to be a fly on the wall in that room. My God, the discussions that they probably have to have it. And there's the water deluge. And there we have the... Oh, it's still going. That was a long static fire. Oh my gosh. Wow. 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 That was a big one. That typically we only see about 3 seconds. I might be wrong, but that felt more like 6 seconds. I can't actually tell how many engines that was. They'll have to wait for some further reporting by people to see how many engines that was. And actually that feels like a decent place to end the stream here. So we will start we'll do this again. Not tomorrow, but probably Saturday, where we'll continue playing Pokemon. We'll probably go a little bit longer that day. And I will see you all there. Okay, let's go here. I'll see you all on Saturday. Goodbye.